Girls of Reddit, what is something that guys may consider nice, but is actually creepy to you? Physically picking me up without notice. I'm lucky, being taller than average and heavier than I look, so it doesn't happen a ton to me, but I've known a lot of short petite women that deal with this on the regular. I don't know any girls that actually like the I was / could be with all these other girls, but I couldn't stop thinking about you line. Telling you how perfect and amazing you are excessively after you just met. Also, talking about how nice they are. Coming into your workplace when you work in the service industry and act like they are the only customer that exists and they just keep talking. I have spent so much time waiting in checkout lines behind older men who are just so pleased to have the captive audience of a young female cashier that they forget that people are in line behind them. It's always so uncomfortable and I want to yell she's only tolerating you because she's at work. Following me to my car / house / next class when I say I'm fine. You may think it's protective of me, but I said no, and you might actually be what I'm trying to get away from. Interesting one this. What's protocol after a night out? When out with friends the general rule is walk them home after if they live near / leave at the same time, but if not then what? I normally just say give me a text when you get back, but I'm never really sure what to do. I should note that in this context it's just as friends. I think what you're doing is fine. I usually let my guy friends walk me to my car, but when I decline and say I've got it, they ask if I'll just shoot them a text when I make it home, so they know I made it okay. I've never had a problem with doing that. The amount of times I've had to tell people to stop yelling out of my car window to girl on the street is pretty sad. You look like a fool trying to impress anybody hanging out the side of a neon. I don't understand what anyone tries to gain in that moment. Calling me after a rapid fire of excessive texts that I don't answer. I don't know if this qualifies as nice, but twice I've been at work with my phone away, and when I've come back to it have a slew of texts asking where I'm / what am I doing / am I okay followed by a phone call. Damn son, I'm working, chill out. Agreeing with everything I say. I have a male friend who does this, never disagrees with me, never brings up any controversial topics, always expresses interest in what I express interest in, even if I know he doesn't like it, never talks about his hobbies, and basically matches himself to me in every way he can. I know he thinks he's relating to me and trying to make sure I like him, but it comes off as a duck boy move. Or I want to stay in your good graces, so you'll let me hit that. Or I'm so insecure in myself that I feel like I need to conform myself to this girl so she'll like me. It's very creepy. Not to the going to wear your skin as a suit point of creepy, but the I'm secretly stalking you and copying what you do point of creepy. I had an aged relative who used to tell the story of how her husband, then of some 50 years, had first asked her out over the phone. She was a telephone operator and then continued to call back and ask to speak with her so he could ask her on a date over and over again for months until she agreed to go out with him. He then asked her to marry him and was rejected some 7 or 8 times before she agreed. I've never heard this story and thought www, that's sweet. On the contrary, it always felt weird, pathetic, and stalkerish, and left me wondering whether social norms had changed or if my relative had just developed Stockholm syndrome over the years. Randomly adding me on Facebook and trying to develop a friendship, maybe more, and then not getting the hint that I prefer making friends outside of Facebook and keep texting me. Honestly, it is not cool or modern. I find it rather disturbing when I receive random friend requests from people I haven't even one common friend with. Not exactly creepy, but a lot of guys are convinced that telling a girl that she doesn't need all that makeup is one of the nicest things you can say to a girl. Don't get me wrong, it can be super nice for girls who genuinely think they need makeup or won't go out in public without it. But if a girl is wearing really dark makeup or makeup that is obviously not very natural, we are probably not wearing it because we feel self-conscious without it. Makeup is an artistic outlet for a lot of women, and personally, it's the one thing I do in the mornings a few days a week that is really fun for me, and it's frustrating when guys can't see it as anything more than a girl trying to look prettier. Believe me, I know I probably look more conventionally attractive without bright purple eyeshadow, but I don't really care because it's so fun to put on. Asking why I'm not smiling and telling me to be happy. Maybe I'm fine and relaxed and enjoying myself and just don't feel like smiling. Maybe it's none of your goddamn business either way. I was operating a camera at a concert recently, right at the edge of the stage. The singer actually stopped his show to come over and ask me why I wasn't smiling. I'm working, you old prick. I'm not here to entertain you, nor am I here to be entertained by you. I'm here to make money and go home, so leave me out of your show and let me focus on my job. I had a guy on a first date who just started massaging my back, which if he had asked, I would never say no to, but he didn't ask anyways. His was too hard and rough and hurt a ton. So I asked him to either stop or lighten the pressure, and he got offended because he was only trying to be nice. Here's a situation. I was taking an upper level university class. I sit in the front so I can grab the left-handed desk and pay attention better. A guy sits next to me. Sometimes we have to get into work groups and we are grouped together due to where we sit. He tries to talk to me beyond normal small talk, before class, after, during work groups, and I'm not interested in him. I'm not interested in anyone. I'm not looking for a relationship. I shut down the conversations before and after class beyond small talk, and I think that's the end of it. But no. Out of nowhere he asks me out because he thinks I'm interested but shy. I say no thanks. He gets butthurt and starts making group projects difficult. Won't talk to me for discussion group, etc. Acts awkward and quiet. Grade slipping. At that point I have to move to a different spot in class where I don't want to sit and will have to use a right-handed desk 6 weeks into the semester and stare at the back of some guy's nasty hair because this guy can't keep his mind on schoolwork. Don't ask people out if they are at work or they are otherwise captive. Went on a date last week with a guy who kept telling me he had a working with children check and a gun license. In Australia this isn't something most people have. He insisted that made him the safest guy in Australia. I suppose he was trying to make me feel comfortable, and if he had said it once it might have been a little weird and not creepy, but he said it multiple times. It felt like he was trying to get me to let my guard down. Throw in the fact that he kept talking about his big family farm that backs onto a national park, and that he could take care of my horrible ex and no one would find the body. I was more than a little creeped out. Suffice to say I won't be seeing him again. Asking for a hug. If I wanna give you one, I'll go in for it. I'll give you the hug look. Also making an effort to walk me places / catch transport. Unless I'm really close to someone, there's just too much pressure. I just wanna nap on the train. I just wanna read Reddit as I walk to my next class. PLS. Coming up to me randomly at the gym to compliment my workout. First of all, I'm trying to work out, and I don't want to talk. Second of all, what am I supposed to say? Thanks. Since you're the gym overlord and king of exercise, your compliment is really meaningful. I know the guys are trying to be nice, but it's creepy. My platonic male friend was just telling me about the way he approaches girls in public. He says he is aggressive and will walk up to a girl and immediately say that he finds her attractive and would like to take her out. I don't think I'm alone in thinking that's incredibly creepy. The feeling that creeps me out the most is walking by a construction site or something like that and literally speed walking by with my head down trying to avoid any eye contact and I still get catcalled. Or walking down the street and I happen to look up and see the creepy guys in a truck completely turned around on the passenger side staring at me and smiling. No matter how hard I try to convey it though body language or even verbally that I'm just minding my own business and to please leave me alone. Apparently it's too hard to do that. Giving too many physical compliments compared to non-physical compliments. For instance hobbies, personality, job. There should be a balance of the two. Otherwise it feels like all you like about or want from me is my body. And using pet names. For instance cutie, baby, before we're actually dating. I find it so cheesy and gross. Anything very affectionate when you haven't reached that stage in a relationship. So, a gift from someone you've just chatted to a couple of times, or even gone on 1 or 2 dates with, I would find exceedingly creepy. PS, some girls are greedy and materialistic, and will accept the gift happily, just because they want the gift. It does not necessarily mean they like you as a person. The same goes for leaning in for a kiss when there has been no previous hint of romance between you. Constantly asking me if I'm okay, and you can tell me anything. I share several classes with a male friend and we live in the same dorm building as well. I'm usually pretty talkative, but some days I just don't feel like socializing. There's been a couple days where said friend kept asking me what's wrong, that I can tell him anything, and that he will always be there for me. Once, fine. I appreciate it. But he asked 12 times in a 50-minute class, followed by texting me all day with same questions. I know something was wrong. Just tell me, and even coming down to my floor to knock on my door and ask me again. I felt very oppressed. I appreciate people asking me what's wrong, but if I specifically say just don't feel like talking today, yeah no, you need to back off.